The four-eared man with messy yellow hair, Ji's eyelids drooped, his gaze sweeping past the other five. Sajin, Fire Dragon, and Ainan and Luo Feng aren't much of a threat. My true opponents are Yu Feng and Luo Fu. My move from the qualification battle last time hasn't been perfected. I can't even be bothered to use it. This time, I'll definitely shock the world. Charge into the Primal Region. Go was extremely ambitious and his improvement speed was shocking. Defeating the other four is easy, it's this wolf. Yu Feng, who was shrouded in a black robe, looked at Luo Fu. This medicine I've specially made for him. As long as it succeeds, I have a guarantee of making it into the Primal Region. Luo Fu stood silently in midair. I'm currently in the impossible level mission. A portion of my consciousness is on alert. A portion of it is in the qualification battles. Under normal circumstances, I can only unleash 70% of my strength. 70% is enough. The group of people all had their own thoughts. And the purple uniformed skinny man representing the Virtual Universe Company continued. The last 18 of the 38 in the Absolute Beginning region will compete with the top 10 of the Sky and Land region. A total of 28 to compete for the 8 slots in the Absolute Beginning region. The losers will all be eliminated from the Sky and Land region. Luo Feng was shocked within as he heard. The elimination rate was too high. However, it made sense. The Primal Region's quota was 3 universe level. The Absolute Beginning region's quota was 30 universe level. All the extra people would naturally be eliminated. Those with insufficient strength would be eliminated. Rong Jun is in trouble this time. Luo Feng looked at Rong Jun beside him. He smiled, seemingly filled with confidence. The qualification battles will begin now. The purple uniformed skinny man looked at the group of youths before him. The qualification battles will be held in special locations. When the time comes, the virtual universe system will directly send you there. Also, you can watch the others battle through the screen. Get ready? The purple uniformed skinny man finished and vanished. In mid-air, the Absolute Beginning geniuses all opened their screens at this time. A sound resounded in their ears. So. The 38 were all teleported out of Yuxiang Mountain. Qualification battles. It had begun. Luo Feng, the Absolute Beginning Universe level qualification battle. Your first battle is about to begin. Your opponent is Muska. This was what the voice said next to Luo Feng's ear. At the same time, an armguard screen appeared on his wrist, and battle information also appeared on the screen. Whoosh. Luo Feng had already been teleported to the same place as an old man from the Absolute Beginning region, Moshka. 38 people, 19 battles, all happening at the same time. Yuxiang Mountain Primal Region. Every Primal Mystic Realm member's manor was thousands of kilometers wide, larger than any country on Earth. Emol Luo was only wearing a pair of trousers as he stood on the vast grassland, practicing his punches and kicks. His Highness is too crazy. He doesn't even stop cultivating. Almost every day I spend most of my time training fist techniques. The exquisiteness of the beast fist is not the slightest bit inferior to some secret techniques created by undying beings. The World Overlord guards watched from afar and discussed in low voices. There were also many servants who were shocked and filled with admiration. When they looked at Emol Luo, their gazes were filled with respect and worship. Emol Luo was very popular. At the very least, the guards and tens of thousands of servants in his manor all worshipped and admired him. Howl. His entire being was like a wild dog howling fiercely as he charged forward 10 kilometers like lightning. With a swipe of his claws, the entire grassland was torn apart by his terrifying claws, creating 2 100 kilometers long huge ravines, almost like 2 large valleys. I've received the mail. The qualification battles over at the Absolute Beginning region have begun. A voice resounded. Only then did Emol Luo stop. If I don't go crazy, I won't live. Emol Luo let out a long sigh. From a young age, he lived a beggar's life, to the concentration camp's death warrior training, and also after being recruited by the Virtual Universe Company to compete with countless elites. Constantly fighting, finally he was accepted into the core last phase region, and fought constantly. From the last phase region to the Sky and Land region, from the Sky and Land region to the Absolute Beginning region, from the Absolute Beginning region to the Primal region. Just like that. From a beggar orphan to the pinnacle, he became the pinnacle genius of the universe. Even an Undying is just a guard of mine. Emol Luo's gaze swept across the distant sector lord guards and the Undying at the front, smiling and nodding. Within, however, he was roaring, "Why, it's because I'm fighting. No matter the means, as long as I win, that's the best way to succeed. The survival of the strong. If I don't go crazy, I won't live." Emol Luo extended his finger and gently tapped. A screen appeared. Watch LuoFeng's qualification battles broadcast. Emol Luo ordered. Primal Region, Absolute Beginning Region, Heaven and Earth Region, Last Phase Region. These 4 regions' qualification battles were completely different. Because the number of people determined the time needed and the complexity. For example, the last phase had the most core members. Just the universe-level core members alone numbered about 10,000. Heaven and Earth Region only had 300. Absolute Beginning Region only had 30. Primal Region only had 5. Deciding the rankings was naturally the most complicated in the last phase, and also the earliest. And as the Primal Region only had 5, hence the qualification battles were the last to be held. The broadcast of the qualification battles, any core member could watch. Of course the Undyings with higher authority could watch too. I don't believe that Luo Feng is still alive. Emol Luo stared at the screen in front of him. I personally kicked him into the bottomless abyss. According to the information I've gathered, none of the geniuses who have fallen into the bottomless abyss have survived to this day. Emol Luo was a veteran, hence he interacted with others. Naturally he knew more about the impossible level missions. And he was a Primal Region member, his authority was higher too, he had more information on the internet. Luo Feng however just relied on the internet, his information was far from Emol Luo's. He's definitely dead. There's actually a rumor in the absolute beginning region that Luo Feng is still alive. Emol Luo's gaze was cold because Luo Feng had once sent a message to his friends, even though he had met Wuka and the others. However, because he had received the demon note inheritance, Luo Feng's time was tight. He only showed his face once before his consciousness returned to the inheritance palace. Only Wuka, Rongjun and the others had seen him before. And the other seniors, the other geniuses that attended the lectures had never seen him before. Hence the news of him being alive wasn't confirmed. Of course, during the qualification battles gathering, it was Luo Feng's first public appearance in a few years. However, the qualification battles gathering, Emol Luo didn't personally witness it. If he's alive, then I'll be able to watch the broadcast. If he's dead, there won't even be a battle for him, naturally I won't be able to see it. Emol Luo stared at the screen before him. Rumors are after all rumors, I kicked him into the abyss, of course I'm sure he's dead. The screen very quickly displayed a notification. Luo Feng against Moshka, the battle is in progress, click to watch the broadcast. The notification was very clear. Emol Luo was stunned. Staring at the notification, after a while he didn't click to watch, he frowned and said softly, "Not dead? He's actually not dead? How can he not die after falling into the abyss?" Rumble. Luo Feng felt the space around him change, after which he landed in a place. This was a desolate planet surface. The surface before him was dark red, the incomparably high temperature caused his vision to distort, especially the terrifying gravity made Luo Feng's body tremble uncontrollably. The terrifying strong magnetic field, it made him very uncomfortable. What is this place? Luo Feng was shocked, simultaneously lowering his head to look at the screen on his arm. There was a detailed message on the screen, it had already been translated into Earth's language. Battle type: Absolute beginning secret area life and death battles universe level. Battle: Luo Feng 0 wins 0 losses 0 draw, versus Moshka 0 wins 0 losses 0 draw. Battle location: White Dwarf star, diameter 3,200 kilometers, surface gravity 361 million G, temperature 21,000 degrees Celsius. White Dwarf star. Luo Feng revealed a smile, no wonder the gravity is so shocking. White Dwarf star, to some of the weaker humans, was considered a forbidden zone. Universe level 9. Normally, countless planets would only give birth to one universe level, a universe level 9. One universe level 9 with one punch could destroy a continent of Earth, intentionally attacking the Pacific Ocean, it could even cause the ocean to roar and engulf the entire planet. In the universe, its highest flying speed could reach 1,500 kilometers per second. Universe level 9, that was enough to dominate an entire galaxy. A few low-level civilizations' strongest warriors were probably only universe level 9. 300 million times the Earth's gravity, over 20,000 degrees Celsius temperature, the White Dwarf's extremely high magnetic field, to a universe level 9, it was indeed nothing. If it was a neutron star, a universe level 9 warrior's body would probably immediately crumble. However, a White Dwarf star, a universe level 9 warrior could easily withstand it. Bang, 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 bang. The Earth trembled. Luo Feng looked over only to see a silhouette sprinting in the distance, every step causing the incomparably sturdy ground to tremble, causing countless pieces of ground that were harder than diamonds to shatter. In an instant he had already reached in front of Luo Feng and stopped, his eyes staring at Luo Feng filled with battle intent. This person's height was 2.2 m, his body was skinny, bald, and there was not a single strand of hair on his body. He was dressed in a tight-fitting silver armor with a black belt around his waist, on his feet were black boots, on his arm was a screen, on his back was a peculiar-looking blade. It was the standard attire of a universe warrior. Most of the universe warriors that went to the alien battlefields were dressed like this. He stared unblinkingly at Luo Feng as though he was facing a great enemy, his voice was sharp and clear. "You are Luo Feng." Muska had a pair of purple eyes, a high nose bridge, no eyebrows, his lips were thin, his gaze was like a venomous snake's cold glint. Muska. Luo Feng crossed his arms in front of his chest. Other than his head, his entire body was protected by the armor. Stop wasting time. How arrogant. Maveska's face flushed red from Luo Feng's actions. He immediately pulled out the blade on his back with lightning speed. With a clang, the blade was unsheathed. "Newbie, I'll let you know. Even a normal old man isn't someone you can look down on." Moshka growled in a low voice. Then he stomped on the ground, causing the extremely hard and condensed ground to tremble and shatter. The magnetic field of the miniature galaxy in his body suddenly exploded, causing his entire body to charge forward at high speed even though the White Dwarf's gravity was more than 300 million times that of Earth. A thread-shaped spirit weapon appeared beneath Luo Feng's feet, the Dark Cloud Shuttle. Standing on the Dark Cloud Shuttle, he floated in mid-air, looking down at the raging Muska rushing over. Ha! The moment Muska got close to Luo Feng, he immediately stomped on the ground, using the recoil and his own flying strength to swiftly rush towards Luo Feng. his right hand holding the blade. Die. Maveska's purple eyes gleamed fiercely. The moment he got close to Luo Feng. Slash. Rumble. The moment he slashed out, the entire blade was like a volcano erupting, bringing with it an irresistible destructive energy, slashing towards Luo Feng. And where the blade pointed, even the surrounding temperature immediately rose to a shocking level. The blade's light immediately slashed across Luo Feng's body, the terrifying light left the blade and landed on the ground. A few km-long trench was slashed open on the ground, countless tens of millions of tons of white dwarf surface matter were smashed in all directions, after which due to the strong gravity, they smashed back into the ground. Even the trench that was slashed had dark red liquid spewing out, it was incomparably hot. Floating in mid-air, Maveska's expression changed the moment he slashed through the air. Your blade work isn't bad, it's a pity your speed is too slow. A cold voice resounded. Muska turned fiercely. In mid-air, Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle, looking calmly at Muska. Controlling a flying spirit weapon had a lot to do with the strength of one's spirit energy. With the same origin law comprehension, a universe level and a domain lord's speed in controlling a spirit weapon would naturally differ greatly. Even though only 90% of Luo Feng's consciousness had entered the virtual universe, his spirit energy amplitude had after all reached over 1900. Compared to the 70 to 80 before he received the inheritance, it had increased by over 20 times. Even if it was only 90%, it was still more than 20 times. This made Luo Feng's usage of the dark cloud shuttle, under extreme circumstances, much better than before. Your saber technique is not bad. It's worth it to see this move of yours. Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle and said. Simultaneously, the dark golden long rod on his back immediately shot out tens of thousands of gold lights. The lights swiftly gathered and finally became an ancient dark golden long blade. This long blade floated in mid-air, causing the space around it to tremble. Nan Shen Armament's 5th stage, Spatial Cleavage. Use the 6th layer. In the distance, Moshka landed on the ground and roared furiously. Luo Feng, you are humiliating me. The group of seniors all knew that Luo Feng could unleash the 6th level blade world. The 5th level is enough. Luo Feng said in mid-air. Shio. The dark golden long blade immediately pierced through 100 m of distance. As it flew, it even affected the surrounding space, bringing with it the pressure of the entire universe. Even the naked eye could see the ripples in the space. In an instant, it had already arrived before Moshka. Under the pressure of the space, Moshka's expression was fierce as he roared, Luo Feng. Use the 6th level. Simultaneously, he used all his strength to unleash that volcanic eruption attack. The dark golden long blade was simply too fast. And through the pressure of the space, it even affected the power of Moshka's attack. Chi. The dark golden long blade was incredibly sharp, forcefully piercing through Moshka's armor and into his body. Explode. In the distance, Luo Feng muttered softly in mid-air. Immediately, the dark golden long sword in Moshka's body split apart, turning into small golden swords that rampaged through Moshka's body. With a boom, countless sword radiance shot out from various parts of Moshka's body. Without Moshka's infusion of origin power, the defense of the battle suit was greatly reduced. Countless golden lights shot out from Moshka's body, fresh blood flew out along with it, following which it was madly sucked into the ground by the White Dwarf's terrifying gravity. The fresh blood of a universe level 9 warrior, after so many life evolutions, its composition had already undergone shocking changes. Even the White Dwarf's powerful gravity was unable to cause the atoms and molecules within the blood to crumble. Moshka's body fell heavily to the ground. The same space slicer, different people unleash it, its power is different. Luo Feng landed beside Moshka's body, looking at the body that was riddled with holes, his eyes calm as he thought, and right now I'm much stronger than before, this space slicer is much stronger too. He looked down at the screen on his arm, after his name, it displayed 1 win, 0 draw, 0 loss, points 1. Time continued to move forward, and the battles continued one after another. The virtual universe company's qualification battles were actually a form of resource distribution. Everyone wanted to enter the Primal Region because the resources that the Primal Region members received were extremely shocking. Just at the universe level, the Primal Region meant that they would have powerful undyings to teach them. It was completely up to one's heart to change the undying teacher. Those that came to be teachers were usually official levels, and the number of missions they could take were much more. Luo Feng was very clear, every mission probably had a secret behind it. Like the Beast God secrets of Blood River World, like Demon Mountain's inheritance secrets. When they were area lords, members of the primitive secret realm would be able to obtain even higher positions. Extremely high positions represented shocking power. And with such power, one could naturally use large amounts of the virtual universe company's military power, the benefits were immense. At sector lord level, the benefits were even more shocking. The virtual universe company's resources to nurture every sector lord, even an emperor level undying would go bankrupt. Universe level, domain lord, sector lord. The further one went, the more shocking the resources the virtual universe company would throw in. Sector lords had extremely long lifespans, up to 10 million years. Within 10 million years, they could hold 1,000 star level battles, 1,000 universe level battles. And many sector lords only grew stronger in the later stages, like the time sector lord Luo. There were also some powerful sector lords that only revealed their true talent at domain lord and sector lord level. Over the long years, the Virtual Universe Company absorbed 1,008 universe countries, yet the Primal Region only had 100 sector lords to nurture. What? Because it hurt. The Virtual Universe Company didn't dare to go crazy and nurture them. Firstly, it was for glory. Secondly, it was to walk further in the future. Everyone wanted to enter the Primal Region. The benefits in the Primal Region will constantly increase. Luo Feng was in the study of his villa in the Absolute Beginning region. Before him floated a screen and on it was the chemist Yu Feng's battle. Universe level, there's already a lot of resources in the Primal Region. A Domain Lord level member of the Primal Mystic Realm has become a governor. I heard that when Primal Region members become governors, they have shocking power. Power means wealth, opportunities, strength. Sector Lord Primal Region members, the benefits are even more shocking. Luo Feng thought. The more resources one had, the harder it was. Entering the Primal Region at Sector Lord level was hundreds to thousands of times harder than Universe level. Hence, I have to take the lead from the start. One step ahead, every step ahead. Luo Feng looked at the screen at the chemist Yu Feng's battle, he frowned. This Yu Feng is actually a spirit reader, chemist. Look at his opponents, they have no resistance at all. On the screen, a fighter wielding two axes, wanting to wave them in battle, however his muscles twitched uncontrollably. If a martial artist's muscles twitched when he used a certain ultimate move, naturally he wouldn't be able to unleash it, following which his head was chopped off. Chemist belongs to a very secluded path, and it's very hard to achieve much in a small field. Luo Feng searched through large amounts of chemist information, watching Yu Feng's every battle. Luo Fu roared, his expression furious, he immediately tore through the sky, his right hand raised into a claw and clawed fiercely in midair. Selah. An extremely huge golden claw visible to the naked eye appeared in the sky and land. It was formed purely from energy and origin laws. As the huge claw slashed down, the entire space seemed to be ripped apart. One of the five Sajin's fire dragon, even though he roared with all his might, after being ripped apart by that huge claw, his entire body was ripped apart, almost like he was sliced apart by a laser blade. Rumble. That huge golden claw still landed on the bustling city below. The entire city was ripped apart, cutting deep into its depths. The entire continent seemed to have been sliced apart. Watching the battle on the screen, Luo Feng's expression was serious. This was the first time the six of them, including Luo Feng, battled each other in the qualification battles. Luo Feng had seen many of Luo Fu's battles before. He had always instantly defeated his opponents and won. He couldn't see Luo Fu's true strength at all. And this time, Luo Fu unleashed an ultimate move. Yet it was so intrepid. A claw in midair. Tearing apart Sajin's fire dragon, tearing apart a continent. This claw, in terms of origin law comprehension, has already surpassed my space and gold comprehension. Luo Feng's expression was serious. Even compared to my golden horned beast's sky-tearing claw, its power may be much weaker. However, in terms of origin law comprehension, its usage is extremely ingenious, the energy is extremely condensed, tearing apart the continent, yet not causing it to explode, powerful. 3 chapters completed. Luo Feng and Luo Fu, who was stronger. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-Star Bay, in a quiet wooden pavilion, a black-robed black-haired man Hong and a white-robed bald thunder god were leisurely sitting on chairs, drinking some rare tea from the Pinghai Company and chatting. Big brother, I haven't seen you in a long time, and third brother too. Thunder God exclaimed. What's the difference if we miss each other, so what if we're far apart? Hong gently sniffed the tea in his hand. Good tea. In terms of enjoyment, the virtual universe far surpasses reality. Thunder God looked speechlessly at Hong. Big brother? Haha. Hong put down the tea and smiled at Thunder God. These few years I've been training under my teacher's arrangements, hence I don't want to be distracted by the virtual universe network. Oh, but you sent me a mail before saying third brother is holding the absolute beginning qualification battles? It's all over, it just ended today. Thunder God looked at Hong. Hence third brother will have time today. I've arranged for both you and him to come. Us 3 brothers will have a good gathering. Amongst the 3 brothers. Even though Thunder God frequently roamed the universe, he spent most of his time in the Milky Way galaxy on Earth. Hong however followed his teacher Time Sector Lord Luo, who didn't have much life left roaming the universe. As for Luo Feng, he was in the core secret region of the Virtual Universe Company, receiving the pinnacle of training. It's over? Hong's eyes gleamed, smiling at Thunder God. My teacher said that to be able to enter the absolute beginning region, they are all pinnacle geniuses of the universe, and third brother just joined not long ago, he should be at a disadvantage. How's the result of the qualification battles? Absolute beginning qualification battles 38 people, the top 3 have the right to enter the Primal Region. The white-robed Thunder God smiled. Third brother, he made it into the top 3. Ah. Hong nodded. How's the result? Hong asked. According to my conversation with third brother, he should be at 36 wins, 1 loss and 0 draws, ranked second. Thunder God said. Second. Hong smiled, nodding and complimenting. Very powerful, very powerful. You should know, I'm now considered part of the Battle Axe Coliseum. Thunder God nodded. Hong's teacher, Time Realm Lord Luo, had obtained the title of Area Lord Great Axe. Thus, Luo had long since been absorbed into the Battle Axe Coliseum. Of course, the current Time Realm Lord Luo did not have much lifespan left. Therefore his status in the Battleaxe Coliseum was not high. However, recommending his disciple to be heavily nurtured was not a problem. Hong was nurtured by the Battleaxe Coliseum. Of course, due to the short period of time, Hong had yet to be absorbed into the core layer. The Virtual Universe Company, along with the Battleaxe Dojo I belong to, they are two of the 5 strongest powers of humanity in the universe. Hong smiled, and every genius battle, only the top 1,000 out of the trillions of geniuses from the 1,008 universe countries will be absorbed into the core. That was why it was extremely difficult to enter the core. Even I have yet to enter the core of the Battleaxe Coliseum. Big brother, you will definitely make it, Thunder God said. Hong smiled nonchalantly. The core members are also divided into high and low. Third brother is in the absolute beginning region. It's considered the core of the Virtual Universe Company. Those able to enter there are all the pinnacle geniuses of humanity. Haha, honestly, the gap between us and third brother is getting bigger and bigger. Thunder God curled his lips. Hong however smiled. Even though the two of them were considered geniuses, LuoFeng's current stage was the pinnacle genius stage of humanity. What are you curling your lips for? Hong glanced at Thunder God. As long as we work hard and keep improving. Even if we are currently lagging behind, there will be a day where we can reach the pinnacle. Big brother, you can catch up to third brother, I have faith in you. However, for myself, it'll depend on luck. Thunder God laughed loudly. Third brother is here. Hong looked at the distant courtyard door. Under the exquisite arched door, Luo Feng, who was wearing a simple casual shirt and had inch-long hair, smiled as he walked in. With a flash of his body, he traversed a few hundred meters to the pavilion and sat on the only empty seat. He smiled as he shouted, Big brother, second brother, it's been a while since we last met. I heard big brother you've joined the Battleaxe Coliseum? Teacher recommended me. Hong nodded. Teacher has some connections in the Battleaxe Coliseum. I'll be able to take fewer detours. The Battleaxe Coliseum is not bad. Luo Feng complimented. Battleaxe Coliseum. According to Luo Feng's current information, the Battleaxe Coliseum and Virtual Universe Company belong to the stronger 5 Leviathans. The other Universe Mercenary Alliance, Universe First Bank and Universe Galaxy Bank were all slightly weaker in terms of power. Seems like your mood isn't bad. Hong smiled at Luo Feng. You've made it into the top 3. Thunder God mocked. Luo Feng immediately smiled helplessly. Right, he had made it into the top 3. This time he was able to receive the Demon Note inheritance from Demon Mountain. His strength had risen greatly. Towards the absolute beginning qualification battles, Luo Feng had complete confidence. And the battles were as he expected. He won 12 consecutive battles at the start. He won to his heart's content. Luo Feng didn't even have to use much strength to win. However, the group of seniors in the absolute beginning region were all discussing, thinking that Luo Feng had long passed the 7th level of the Heavenly Bridge. Winning the seniors was normal. The moment he met the 5 warriors he would be in trouble. Luo Feng and the 5 of the seniors finally met in Luo Feng's 13th battle. The first to meet was Wolfman Luo Fu, the strongest Luo Fu. Luo Fu. Luo Feng muttered within. Luo Fu was the first of the 5 warriors Luo Feng met in the qualification battles. This battle had attracted many people's attention. And Luo Feng himself was extremely cautious. The battlefield of that battle was in the air above a planet's ocean. Luo Feng and Luo Fu only exchanged a few words before they attacked. The moment they attacked, it was vicious. Luo Feng first used his consciousness pressure to suppress it, relying on the Nan Shen Armament to unleash his strongest power, using his strength to suppress. Being suppressed by Luo Feng's consciousness pressure, that Wolfman Luo Fu was indeed affected. However, this pressure caused him to go berserk. The mad Luo Fu's speed was shocking, especially his instantaneous burst of speed. Even Luo Feng's Dark Cloud Shuttle was struggling. In just 3 moves, the first claw blocked Luo Feng's Nan Shen Armament Blade World attack. The second claw caused Luo Feng to be injured. The third claw immediately killed Luo Feng. Clean and direct. He had no resistance at all. Stun. This defeat made Luo Feng completely dumbfounded, as he had defeated Sajin's Fire Dragon before and received the Demon Note inheritance. This made Luo Feng extremely confident. However, who would have thought that against the first of the 5 Luo Fu, the lightning-fast exchange would end just like that? He had lost too badly. When Luo Feng lost badly, the group of seniors in the absolute beginning region were celebrating, thinking that Luo Feng's strength was only SOSO. Even though he had defeated Sajin back then, it was probably because he was too careless back then. Now that he had met Luo Fu, wouldn't he be exposed? The group of seniors thought that after Luo Feng lost to Luo Fu, he would lose to the other 4. 16th match, Luo Feng against Sajin. The moment the Nan Shen Armament was unleashed with Luo Feng's current control over it, he completely crushed and killed Sajin. This battle made Luo Feng's confidence rise by quite a bit. So it wasn't that he was weaker than the 5, but that Luo Fu was too sick. This battle left the elders of the absolute beginning pocket realm dumbfounded. Sajin's Fire Dragon had lost miserably, and had been completely suppressed. 20th match, Luo Feng against Ni Nan. Ni Nan was a cunning punk. It was a pity his speed couldn't keep up with Luo Feng's. When a fighter's instantaneous speed couldn't even catch up to a spirit reader, then he was destined to be crushed. Similarly, he would lose without a doubt. 28th match, Luo Feng against Chemist Yu Feng. This was a battle that Luo Feng was extremely worried about. Because according to the footage, the Chemist Yu Feng's ability was simply too overpowered. and those peculiar drugs were indeed hard to defend against. As a precaution, the moment the battle began, Luo Feng immediately created a distance and unleashed Blade World, using the world energy to suppress the opponent and kill him. However, unknowingly he was still affected by a special drug that affected the soul. Luckily his willpower was incomparably strong, withstanding the adverse effects and thinking of ways to kill his opponent. It was a narrow victory after a narrow victory. After winning, Luo Feng received a mail from Feng. "Newbie, I didn't expect you to be able to withstand my Caswa number 6 drug. However, you won't be so lucky next time." The victory of this battle completely shocked the entire group of universe-level seniors in the absolute beginning region. Wolfman Luo Fu and Chemist Feng, these two were the strongest amongst the seniors. Luo Feng being able to defeat Chemist Feng had already proven his strength. 35th match Luo Feng against Go. Ji's ultimate move. Luo Feng had seen it long ago from the footage of Go and Luo Fu, hence he was prepared. He didn't even give Go a chance to get close, immediately using the Nan Shen Armament to kill Go. A total of 37 battles. Luo Feng had 36 wins, 1 loss and 0 draws. Wolfman Luo Fu had 37 wins, 0 losses and 0 draws. Chemist Feng had 35 wins, 2 losses and 0 draws. According to the points rankings, Luo Feng and the other two were naturally the highest. Naturally, the top 3 candidates for the qualification battle within the absolute beginning mystery territory were the 3 of them. The 3 of them had the right to enter the Primal Region. Luo Fu. Luo Feng recalled the battles from the past 3 days. The final battle with Luo Fu shocked him the most. His strength is much stronger than the other 5. My Nan Shen Armament was already at that level of power, and he actually blocked it in one move. Haha, still thinking about the battle from before? The white-robed thunder god laughed from below the pavilion. Only the infatuated can achieve great things. Hong smiled. Only then did Luo Feng wake up from his memories. "I'm sorry." Luo Feng shook his head. "My battle with Luo Fu before, I still can't forget it." "You lost badly?" Hong asked. "Do you even need to ask?" Thunder god laughed. Luo Feng lifted the teacup beside him and gently took a sip. The tea leaves in this teacup were specially grown by the Ping Hai Company in the virtual universe. The fragrance indeed lingered in his mouth. After taking a sip, he exclaimed, "I've indeed lost too badly. I don't even have any confidence in making it to the Primal Region." Before the qualification battles, Luo Feng was filled with ambition to make it into the Primal Region. He had already acquired a portion of the Demon Note inheritance, his spirit energy amplitude soaring. He had absolute confidence in making it into the Primal Region. However, the battle with Luo Fu was like a bucket of cold water. The difference was huge. "I'm not afraid of losing." Hong smiled. "I'm just afraid of not having confidence." "Big brother?" Luo Feng looked at Hong. "When I was young, I spent my time in an assassin training camp." Hong's eyes were filled with reminiscence. In terms of constitution, us yellow people, white people and black people were naturally different. Even though I was lagging behind, I was still progressing, until I became the most terrifying assassin. And those who were originally more talented than me, were all surpassed by me. Luo Feng listened quietly. "Hence?" Hong smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. "Third brother, even though talent is important, it's not absolute. Your talent is good and your training is fast. No problem, you'll become undying in 10,000 years. Then I'll train for 100,000 years, 1,000,000 years and become undying. Won't that work? Who knows, those with good talent might even fall early." Luo Feng was shocked. Right. That absolute genius his teacher spoke of before, that genius who could kill an official level undying in the sector lord level, didn't he fall too? He didn't even become undying. Hence, a moment of shocking improvement doesn't mean much. The important thing is to be steady and stable. Hong looked at Luo Feng. "The most important thing in training isn't to compare with others, but with yourself. As long as you keep improving and surpassing yourself, you'll eventually get stronger and stronger. One day you'll realize, in the entire world you won't be able to find a match. You'll already be number 1. Towards this big brother Hong, Luo Feng was filled with respect and admiration. In terms of pure martial strength he was strong, but in terms of mental state, his big brother was already comparable to some of the so-called sages in the history of China. "Haha boss, how did you become the world's number 1 back then?" Thunder God laughed as he looked at Luo Feng. "Yes." Hong's eyes were calm as he nodded and said with a smile, "Back then I was loyal to the spear in my hand. I used the spear in my hand to expound the truth of the world, step by step. Even I didn't think that during the Grand Nirvana period, I would actually become the number 1 person on Earth." Luo Feng, understand what I mean? "Understood. Don't rush for instant benefits. You have to calmly pursue your own limits," said Luo Feng. Hong nodded in satisfaction. The gathering with Big Brother and Second Brother lasted for about 3 hours before the 3 brothers finally separated. Big Brother continued to concentrate on his training. Second Brother was busy with his own matters and Luo Feng's consciousness returned to his body, fully immersing himself in accepting the Demon Note inheritance. Luo Feng realized something. Every time he was with Big Brother and Second Brother, he would gain enlightenment and see his future path more clearly. This is the state of mind. In terms of mental state training, Second Brother is stronger than me. Big Brother has even reached an unprecedented level. Luo Feng too felt that even though his big brother hadn't revealed his brilliance yet, one day he would definitely reveal his dazzling brilliance in the vast universe. This feeling was purely subconscious. Even though his big brother spoke calmly, his confidence was completely ingrained in his bones. On the second day after the absolute beginning qualification battles ended, the Primal Region qualification battles began. As there were only a total of 5 universe-level Primal Region members, their qualification battles would end within a day. And the Primal Region qualification battles obviously caught the attention of the geniuses of the other regions. In a short while, who knew how many people were watching the battles? Absolute Beginning District, Manka Planet's Prince Wuka's manor. Luo Feng, Rong Jun and Wuka were gathered in the living room, drinking and watching the screen before them, watching the Primal Region qualification battles one after another. Ah, my villa. Not long from now, I'm afraid I'll have to move out of the Absolute Beginning region and head to the Heaven and Earth region. Wuka sat in the sofa, exclaiming loudly. He glanced at Luo Feng and Rong Jun. You two punks, our Absolute Beginning 3 heroes should be together. One of you makes it into the top 3, the other can stay in the Absolute Beginning region. Luo Feng and Rong Jun laughed. The qualification battles, Luo Feng was ranked 2, Rong Jun was ranked 19. Rong Jun struggled to stay in the top 20. This way he wouldn't have to fight the top 10 of the Heaven and Earth region. It could be said that he was already set to stay in the Absolute Beginning region. And Wuka was unsurprisingly ranked 6 from the bottom. Actually the other 6 newbies, Wuka, Ao Patela, Lancelot, Ai Chen, Jiang Emo and Chen Shui, were coincidentally the bottom 6. For Wuka to be ranked 6 from the bottom was already not bad. However, they were about to fight the top 10 of the Heaven and Earth region. However, other than the 6 of them, the others had all passed the Heavenly Bridge's 6th level. They were destined to go to the Sky and Land region. Every batch of newbies is like this, they'll always lose and get eliminated to the next region. I'm a newbie after all. Wuka stared at Luo Feng and Rong Jun. You two wait, very soon I'll return to the Absolute Beginning region. Alright, we'll wait. Rong Jun laughed. Work hard, Prince Wuka. Luo Feng teased. The moment he finished, the screen broadcasted the Primal Region battle. Fei Tua against Long Yun had already ended. Long Yun is so pitiful. Wuka exclaimed. Right. Rong Jun nodded. He's not on the same level as the others in the Primal Region. Luo Feng nodded too. There were a total of 5 people in the Primal Region, 3 seniors and 2 newbies. The 2 newbies were of course Bolin and Long Yun who had been chosen to enter the genius battle. Bolin had finally come to his senses after being provoked by Luo Feng, clearly realizing that he wasn't a true invincible genius. Wasting his talent like that was an idiotic action, hence he changed his way of thinking and decided to focus on the space laws. 2 years ago, Bolin had already passed the Heavenly Bridge's 7th level. The 3 seniors were Fei Tua, Semayan and Emol Luo, of which Fei Tua was the only core universe level member of the Virtual Universe Company to have passed the 8th level. Semayan and Emol Luo had both passed the 7th level, of course they had done so a long time ago. Long Yun is so pitiful he loses no matter who he meets. If it were me I'd have forfeited long ago. Wuka shook his head, they're not on the same level at all. 5 of them, 1 had passed the 8th level, 3 had passed the 7th and only Long Yun had passed the 5th. Don't look down on him. Luo Feng looked at Long Yun's corpse on the screen. Even though he knows he'll definitely lose, he still continues to fight, he's not a normal person. Rong Jun nodded. Look, Emol Luo against Bolin. Wuka shouted. Luo Feng and Rong Jun immediately focused, staring at the screen before them. Of the 2 newbies in the Primal Region, only Bolin had some ability to resist. However, when Bolin met the strongest of the 3 seniors, Fei Tua, he lost terribly. He and Emol Luo have both passed the 7th level. Rong Jun said solemnly, and they're both close combat fighters this battle. Maybe Bolin has a little hope. Luo Feng nodded. Yes, there was a little hope. Just a little hope. The battle began. Bolin's blade work was incomparably sharp, and his movements were unpredictable. Emol Luo, on the other hand, stood at the same spot and used his beast fist to block Bolin's attacks. The scene of the 2 of them fighting caused mountains to crumble and forests to be destroyed. Bolin's every blade could create a shocking bottomless abyss on the planet's surface, and Emol Luo's every punch and kick could cause huge scars on the ground. In an instant they exchanged tens of blows. Emol Luo immediately grabbed a chance, paying the price of a leg to get close to Bolin and kill him. How? Emol Luo's eyes immediately gleamed with a wild light. His right hand was like a twisting snake that shot out fiercely, grabbing Bolin's neck. Crack. In an instant he twisted and broke Bolin's neck, his fingers piercing straight into his skull. Bolin dead. Silence. Before the screen, Luo Feng, Rong Jun and Wuka were silent for a while. Bolin's strength wasn't weak, but against the Primal Region old man he was still killed. What terrifying close combat. Wuka said softly. Wuka too was a close combat type, however compared to Emol Luo he realized the difference was shocking. Very terrifying. Rong Jun frowned too. Luo Feng however held his breath as he watched, simultaneously recalling the scene of Emol Luo grabbing the chance to kill Bolin. Replaying it over and over again, the more he thought, the more serious his expression became, that Emol Luo's beast fist was indeed worthy of its name. It was like a fox or a python or a wild wolf or even a fierce tiger. That ferocity, cunning, sinister, it was completely natural. His beast fist was created by himself, while the others learned other people's secret techniques. Luo Feng thought within, creating it himself, of course it's easier to unleash his strongest attacks. Emol Luo is very strong. However, Why do I always feel that he isn't as strong as the wolfman Luo Fu? LuoFeng frowned. Luo Fu is only in the absolute beginning region. That's weird. Emol Luo's strength only made LuoFeng cautious. Luo Fu however made him feel despair. There's no hope. Wuka shouted loudly from the sofa. Bolin lost to Emol Luo. I'm afraid he'll lose against the fighter's nemesis, hypnotist Samayan too. Then it's destined that the last three of the Primal Region will be Bolin and Long Yun. The rules of the Virtual Universe Company were the last three of the Primal Region and the top three of the Absolute Beginning Region, a total of 6 people fighting for the only Primal Region slot. From the looks of it, Long Yun, Bolin, they were probably 2 out of the bottom 3. That Fei Tuo, as the only one to pass the Heavenly Bridge's 8th level, he had an obvious advantage. Getting first shouldn't be a problem. The last 3 of the Primal Region, one is Bolin, another is Long Yun. Who's the last? Wuka frowned. Anyway, it's definitely either Emol Luo or Samayan. Rong Jun said, LuoFeng, who do you think it is? LuoFeng frowned. Which one? Emol Luo. It had to be Emol Luo. Emol Luo was only in the last 3, then he would have a chance to spar with him. I have to personally defeat him and step on him, definitely. LuoFeng had long been filled with resentment. This qualification battle was just a chance to vent. If there was a chance in reality, LuoFeng would definitely not show mercy. Back then when Emol Luo kicked out, he had already decided. Between the two of them, one had to die.